Welcome back to the KOA Morning News. In our 6 o'clock hour, we started making our pie crust, which Chef Anthony turned into beautiful looking French fries.
Isn't that great?
This is so awesome.
Is it starting to come and make a little bit of sense now? It makes
so much sense. Okay, so what we're making today is apple pie poutine. And a traditional poutine is like French fries with like cheese curds and gravy and stuff.
Yeah. All the goodies that people like, just elevating gravy fries to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And putting some popular flavors on them.
So an apple pie poutine uses pie crust looking like French fries.
That's right.
That's the base. I get it now.
So, and that's my grandma's apple pie recipe.
Okay.
Or excuse me, my grandmother's pie crust recipe. And this should look very familiar because this has been done on here before. Mm-hmm. This is Nana's apple pie recipe.
Yes, it is.
So we're just cooking the apples down with sugar, and I put just a little bit of water in there because the apples produce enough water on their own as they cook.
How long do you need to cook your apples?
Until they're tender, until they get to the desired tenderness that you want.
So even though this is Nana's apple pie, you're using Granny Smith apples?
Yes, I'm using Granny Smith on this one because I like the little bit of sour. I think it plays very nicely with the sweetness. Mm-hmm. So, and most people around here, they're really into this whole sweet and sour.
Yes.
So cinnamon on top. And I'm adding that now so that it all cooks together just a little bit. The flavor penetrates into the apples.
Ooh, I can smell that cinnamon.
And we're going to get it a good mix and let our apples cook a little bit, and then we're going to start to thicken it. And now I brought cornstarch with me, but one of the key things that you're going to have to watch with cornstarch is that you don't over thicken it. So I brought 3/4 of a cup of cornstarch, but I may not need it all. Mm-hmm. We'll just add it a little bit until we get to our desired consistency, and then we'll spoon it right over our crust French fries.
Ooh.
So.
Sweetest poutine ever.
Oh, yes. And this kind of came to me, a friend of mine, Chef Lou, he was like, oh, I'm playing around with some pie crust. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds so good. And it was from then on, it was just like, I'm going to do that on the air. And the Granny Smith apples are really good. My friends over at Martinez Produce took really good care of me in providing these apples. I tried one. They're just about perfect.
Nice.
So.
I've always had great luck getting the produce from Martinez,
oh, yes.
And their apples are delicious too.
They have such a variety.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, and it's fitting that we're doing this because Baking and Pastry's studying pies.
Very nice.
So they're learning.
Are you guys doing something baking related for the school this week as well?
We are actually. We have two things going. We announced yesterday officially the first annual PHS Culinary Dragons Bake Off, which will be coming up in November, on November 5th. It's a Saturday. You can sign up, scan the QR code that's on your screen. There's two categories, breads and then cakes or desserts. So cakes, cookies, cupcakes. So
this is for students?
This is for students.
Okay.
And two divisions, middle school and high school.
Oh, wow.
So sign up, see your teacher. If your teacher is like, well.
Okay, so this is not just for Pittsburgh students. You guys are inviting
everybody.
Students all across the 4 states.
Yes, we reached out as far as Springfield, Joplin. We've gone down south to Galena, as far north as Lewisburg. But if you're still seeing this, please come join us.
That's awesome.
We would love to have you.
All right, well, you heard it here first.
Hopefully. I'm going to add a little bit of my cornstarch in here. And
I noticed you got it on a pretty heavy boil.
Yes, I want to make sure that my apples, normally I would do this a little slower, but since we're under a time constraint, I'm heating it up a little bit more. But now my apples are almost there.
Nice.
I can actually start to see how tender they are.
Still look firm, but be very soft at the same time.
And now we're starting to thicken up, and we're going to add just a little bit more water because it's almost perfect. But I imagine when we come back, it will be spot on perfect.
Oh, it's really thickened up nicely. All right, well, we will let you continue stirring that and get it to perfection. So when we come back from the break, we can top off our apple pie poutine with Chef Anthony. We'll be right back.